som är Maja. You can find me as sjomajlin on Instagram and Ravelry. Yes, today is Friday the 25th of November. It is. And I am coming to you from a grey and rainy Jönköping, Sweden. I wish I was saying yarn shop in Sweden, but no, Jönköping, Sweden. Hey, how are you? Is everything good? Hope so. I don't know. I'm a little bit... So, it's about lunchtime. I've been working from home this morning. To be honest, I did sleep pretty late, so I haven't been working a lot, but I've been working a little bit, and I'm going away to sing at a home in a few hours. Yes, in an hour and a half. Just about. Anyway, so I've been practicing through a program, and so I'm a little bit like, I don't even know. I chose songs for this this set, if you will, that I like. So I'm a little bit emotionally engaged already. So early in the day. It's not really early in the day, but I haven't, you know, in terms of accomplishing things and doing things and making stuff happen, it is early in the day. So I was thinking I should record today while there still is daylight, because at sort of 5 when I get home from work it'll be pitch black. I'm not gonna show you because it's pretty gross. I broke my, what's that called? Like the little bit of tissue that holds the nail in place, that is not really skin, but it's not, you know, I broke that on a finger. And anyway, I can't stop. Yes, so I don't know, hey, how are you? I've got some knitting to show. I have 2 finished objects. Let me just pull them out, because I did stuff them away so I wouldn't, like, I don't know, trip on them. I finished the second baby cardigan that I had started last week. Again, I'm not pregnant, but my friends are. So this is a little short-sleeved or cap-sleeved, top-down, raglan increases baby cardigan that I knit. And again with these crocheted soft buttons that you sort of easily can poke through there, and then they bloom so that the cardigan stays buttoned up. I think they are pretty cute. I did crochet. I showed you the ones that I had made on the first cardigan as well. I did use a self-striping sock yarn, and it doesn't take, one of these buttons doesn't take much at all. So they are different colored, but they sort of go together, and they are just a little bit of touch of color for it. So I finished that, and again with the same yarn that I've shown you. It is a Swedish brand, Järbo. What's it called? The base, I guess. Well, this yarn is called Elise. It is from Järbo. That's what I'm trying to say. 60% cotton and 40% acrylic. Whoa. I just totally forgot how to translate. 100 grams and 330 meters per skein. And it varies in tones of grey, and I think it's quite lovely. Totally forgot what I was trying to say. I also did, and I forgot to weave in the end, like a little, you know, snuggly whatever. So I started, let me cover that up. I'm gonna weave that in at some point. I started knitting like, what do you call that? biased, I guess, washcloth or dishcloth. And then as I got to the end, I started working in the round, and I increased, and then I decreased, and then I stuffed it, and then I made like just a tiny little face. So it is like a little friend, whatever. I think a baby might, you know, I don't know. I'm just trying. So those are my finished objects. I did start, because again there are 2 babies coming. So I did start a second one that will be along the same idea as that snuggly thing. It's the same yarn still, because I think it's a good yarn. So those are my only finished objects, as I said, and then we're obviously into the works in progress. No, that's it. No, yes. Oh, there are so many things. Okay, so a friend of mine asked if I could make a little dude, I guess. A colleague of his is going to change work, so the colleagues who are remaining wants to, you know, thank him or whatever. I don't know what words to use. So he asked me if I could make a little guy, a little man to resemble him. So he is a chef, so he would be wearing like black chef's clothing. So I asked to get a picture, and I want to show you that picture, but a picture of the guy in question, to see sort of, you know, does he have any like special features that I want to capture. So I did, you know what, I'm just gonna grab a book from the shelf right over here, because I want to show you the idea that I used. Is it this one? I think it is. Yes, it is. So this is, as you can see from the picture, a really old book. It is the big book of handcrafts from ICA förlaget, for my Swedish friends. They've published many like really good resource books. So this is from 1978. So it is a really old book. And some of the, well, it's not just yarn work, it is some sewing and different stuff. And the actual materials have evolved since the 70s. What yarns to use for different things and stuff. And, well, fashion have also evolved since the 70s, right? But this is a charming book, and you can still like use the techniques and so on. Yeah, and there are different like ideas and stuff. So anyway, I leafed through this book when I bought it in a secondhand or a thrift shop a few years ago. So here is, if you have like leftover tablecloth, woven tablecloths, you can make a skirt out of it. Perfect. I leafed through it and I thought, well, there is nothing that I, you know, completely fell for, except for this one project in the end. Which, so since it is in a book, it is really a paid for pattern in a way, but I'm not really giving anything away. So this is what they look like, these little fellas. So they are knitted dolls. Usually amigurumi sort of things are crocheted, and I do crochet, so I don't mind doing that, but I wanted to try this. So what you do, again, I am giving it away, but I'm not really, you know, giving it away. So this asks you to knit this piece flat, so it looks like half a hat. but it is flat, and then you knit straight and then you decrease for the top, and then you sew it up. You you tighten around the neck so that it turns out to be a neck. You stuff it, and then you embroider or you sew through for arms and legs, and it looks like a little guy standing with hands in pockets, and then you add facial features, and you can obviously stripe or do whatever with the pattern. So I chose to try that out because it's such a simple and cute and lovely idea. So I did sorry, I knit in the round because and he was going to wear black shoes, black pants, and black well, a shirt, like chef's clothing. So there wasn't really anything interesting to do, and then I got fluff in my mouth, obviously. And then I switched to a skin colored yarn and just knit the head. So it wasn't all that interesting, but I do really like my... So I did hand it over already, so I don't have it to show you. That is why I had pictures. So there you can see I hold it in my hand on the picture, so you can see it's pretty small. So the guy had hair and a beard and glasses, and you can see I embroidered that on. You can see the little nose and the little ears, sort of, anyway, that sort of sticks out. I actually did take a felt tip pen and just colored in some red for the mouth, because I didn't want it to be too I don't know, like stick out. So as you can see, the body is very, very simple, and I put on some beads for buttons, and I crocheted just a little chain to put on to make the outline of the front of the shirt. I think you can almost make it out right there. And I maybe should have, because I'm definitely making these again because it was so much fun, maybe I should have changed colors for the yarn for the top of the head, because I did embroider both hair and beard. I didn't take a picture of the back of his head, maybe I should. I did embroider both the full head of hair and the beard, and it was kind of hard to get it to cover so that it didn't look like he had bald spots, because, well, it didn't show from the picture I was sent if it did, but he's pretty young, so I think it might be, you know, it can be a touchy subject to suggest that someone might have a bald spot, so I did not want to do that. So I had to like embroider a lot. So the hair on the doll was very, very messy, because it was like crisscrossing, because I was trying to, you know, sew it on. However, on the picture it looked like he probably had a little bit kind of messy hair, you know, short messy hair. So it turned out pretty good, but I think it would have been better to just change the colors from like here when I knit it, so that, yeah, so you just sort of fill in the... Anyway, it was such a lovely little project to make, so I'm definitely going to do that again. And books like these are... Okay, so what I'm trying to say is there are so many recommendations, and there are so many great and lovely... Excuse me. Whew. There are so many great and lovely new pattern books and knitting books and crafting books. A magpie just landed on the antenna on my neighbor's roof, and the whole antenna just swayed like crazy. There are so many awesome new books that are really, really great, but old books like these that you can find like for, you know, change in thrift stores or secondhand or whatever, or even from like old relatives who don't want them anymore, can be a lot of fun. You need to be aware that you probably need to rethink the materials used and so on, and also knitting in the round is a fairly new thing. You used to always knit in pieces and then seam it together, and there are definitely points in doing that, but there are also points in knitting in the round. Look at that sweater. Isn't that just... I don't even know what to say. But I think, yeah, I wouldn't wear it, but I think it's still pretty good. And there are so many great tips in these sort of books, or at least in this book, so just leafing through it gives me such pleasure. So check out, keep a lookout for these types of books, is what I'm trying to say, because they are so much fun. I have, this is definitely not a finished object, but okay, so this is the Still Light tunic by Vera Välimäki that I've been working on like forever. And I like it. It's just that I'm currently working on the sleeves and I hate knitting sleeves, so it takes forever. And also the pattern gives you sort of 3/4 length or 2/3 length sleeves. I am making them full length. So I've been procrastinating from this. Usually I do knit to procrastinate, but I've been like doing other things to procrastinate from knitting on this. However, I did finish the first sleeve, so that is obviously not a finished object, but it is like a, you know. I've mentioned this before, since the pattern, and I'm not giving the pattern away because it is a paid for pattern, it's lovely, it gives you shorter sleeves, so it only asks you to do a few decreases, but since I'm doing full length sleeves and my arms, it's from sort of where the pattern stops, then my arms decrease the most, so I wanted to make more decreases. So I keep track of them with these locking stitch markers so that I can just copy it for the second sleeve. So a bunch of extra decreases and some ribbing. And I finished the first sleeve. I just started the second. I have done less than an inch on the second sleeve. I do have, so if you are familiar with the pattern, it's a tunic that is going to be longer than this, and it has pockets in front, where I currently just have the stitches, the live stitches on holders, and then you pick up. So when you knit past it, you leave it sort of as if you're knitting a thumb in a mitten. So I need to pick up and make the inside of the pockets when I'm finished with the second sleeve. And then, because it is too short right now, but I wanted to make sure I have enough yarn for the sleeves and for the pockets, and then I might, depending on how much yarn I have left, I might just knit it longer than the pattern gives or calls for to finish off the yarn, or I might stop it, I don't know, but I wanted to make sure that I can knit the length of the tunic as long as possible, I guess. So there is quite a lot of work still on it. It is such a big piece. I'm knitting in a I am knitting it on 2.5 mil needles, so it does take time. There are a lot of stitches, and there are a lot of stray hair on here, like my hair. I am more than 50% done, but there is much left still, so. But I finished the first sleeve. You know, that is so weird. When you actually put your time into doing something, it gets done. I know, right? I started a new project. I started a hallon, which is a free pattern on Ravelry by the lovely Sjomajlin. It is a cowl, a lace handkerchief, no, kerchief? Is that the word I'm looking for? Style cowl. There's another picture of it. And yes, I am Sjomajlin. I designed this. And I don't know, like, this is the first pattern I've ever tried writing out. And I've talked about this before. It is just a little something. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. But I quite like it. So it is sharted. So it is this style. It's not this, but it is this style where I've made this before. You start knitting like a triangular shawl from the neck down, and then when your top circumference is big enough, you join it in the round. And so it is like a triangular shawl that you have around your neck with, you know, the depth and length in front, but not stuff in the back, and it won't like come open. And I quite like this style. And you can pull it down over your shoulders, and you can, like, if your back is cold, you can definitely turn it around and have it like that. I like it. However, this is just plain, as you can see, just plain stockinette. This is lacy. Is there a better? Well, you can see it there, maybe. And I did show you this when I worked on the actual cowl. So it's nothing new like that. I started a new one of these anyway. So I am still working this flat. I haven't joined it in the round yet. I am knitting this with sock yarn that I'm holding tripled. So I am doing it like a chain ply. So I have made like a chain, and I'm going to knit till I get to the end of the loop, and then I pull through again and like pull out a good length. So that little join right there is pretty much not at all noticeable in the knitted fabric. These are what? These are 3.5mm needles, so it is a pretty tight gauge, but with because I want this cowl to be sort of tight, so it won't like blow, icy winds won't blow right through. And with the eyelets and the laciness, it's going to be open anyway, so I didn't want it to be like super open and flowy, which are good in some cases, but I didn't want it for this. And it's going to, like with all lace, it looks a bit like uncooked ramen, or cooked ramen even, before blocking, so it's going to open up a bit more. So I am very happy with this. I am getting close to joining this in the round, but I'm not there yet. This will be smaller than this. This will be smaller than this. The yarn looks a little bit more green in real life compared to my viewfinder. Well, that is pretty good. This is a Gothard Creations yarn. The colorway is Woodland. It is 100% superwash BFL. And I think that Woodland is a very good name. It is spot on. So this is going to be a Christmas gift for someone who is a redhead. And I think that this is going to look amazing with her hair. And you can see there are flecks of like orangey, rusty, have not woven in that end, that are, you know, sort of the color of her hair, and I think it's going to look amazing. So I hope she like it. Not to toot my own horn, but I do like this pattern. That is why I did write it down. So when you've established so this is short for the beginning where you start it, and like if you do try it and you have any questions, just ask me and I'll try to sort things out, because again, I don't really know this stuff, but it looks a bit messy, but then when you've established what you're doing, you just only do this. So that is like the general, or that is, if you will, the general lace repeat, and then you do the increases. You alternate between 2 different, or increases, well, yeah. It is a super easy shawl, or pattern, because you can definitely knit it into a shawl as well. Anyway, I like it, so that is why I'm making it. Whatever. Let it go. Did I tell you? Yes, I did. Speaking of let it go, about the girl who's... Anyway, I did tell you that last week. Yes, that is about time. I want to... Okay, so this is episode 100. I'm not gonna make a big thing out of that. But I did want to mention... I did want to say thanks. Thank you so much. You know, for liking me. To be honest. I've said this before. I am doing this because I enjoy it. Because it gives me something. But if... And that you guys are watching is part of what it gives me, you know? If no one was watching, I wouldn't upload. It's as simple as that. And... there are trolls on the internet who watch stuff that they don't really like, because I don't know why, but I think you guys are smart enough that you, if you don't like something, you don't waste your time watching it. So since you're here, I assume you at some level like what I do, and I thank you for that, because that means a lot to me, and it do you know what I'm trying to say? Because I don't really know how to word it. And everyone talks about this. The knitting community is so awesome. It really, really is. It's so kind and it's so lovely. And I'm humbled to just be a little part of it. Really, it's amazing. There are so many podcasts out there who are truly, truly, truly amazing. And I'm glad to be a part of it. So I really want to say thank you, because it means a lot. And I'm not gonna be all mushy about it. But yeah, so 100 episodes. I honestly, this summer, when I sort of struck out for a while there, I was like, no, whatever, no. I'm never getting to 100 anyway. And here we are. A little bit over 2 years since I started, and 100 episodes. That's crazy. Currently I don't have any changes in mind for the future. I'm trying to, you know, go forward, but I'm not making any guarantees or any promises or anything, but let's shoot for another 100, right? Yes. So, thank you for your feedback, your comments, your likes, and for subscribing. And it does mean a lot. It does. So, thank you. Happy 1st of Advent, if you are a Christmas geek like me. This is the beginning of Christmas season, for me at least, and I've started singing Christmas songs at work, and it's magic. It's magical. I love it, and it is something that I need. Definitely, I need something to light up the dark of winter. And I am so much waiting for snow to also light up the dark of winter. So, and happy Thanksgiving for those of you who celebrated. That was yesterday as I record this, so you're probably sort of foodie hangover right now. So take it easy and knit and drink a lot of tea. Please do take care, be kind to yourselves and to one another, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye!